Should be my own recording, I hope, is getting started. Good afternoon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on such short notice. I've discussed with you for many months now the prospect of Rural Advantage partnering with another organization, and this has long been part of our strategic plan, one component of our strategic plan, about midway 2 to 3 years to I don't want to say bring on, but to partner with an organization like Integris Health Partners. Integris Health Partners and we have entered into a partnership agreement. Now we're going to explain who Integris is. We're going to introduce the key folks to you, and we're going to talk about the benefits of what we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Just bear with me for a minute or two here. So we signed the partnership over the weekend. We've been working on the document for a while, but we've been having the conversation for several months, and our colleagues at Pinnacle introduced us. Since I always started with Rural Advantage mission, I thought it appropriate. I completely plagiarized a Keel slide deck here. I'm going to introduce you to a Keel. And this is the Integris Health mission. The folks that we've met talk a lot about their mission and emphasize it in most conversations that we've had with them. And it's one of the characteristics that I found attractive about the organization. Like I just mentioned, partnering with an organization that has significantly more resources than North American healthcare management can provide in the long term has always been part of our goal and strategic objective. The partnership allows us to pursue more aggressively our long-term mission of returning value to providers, to our rural health clinic providers in the long term, and move towards risk. Move towards risk. I'm going to define for you what risk means shortly. Actually, I'm going to ask our new friend Akil to do that shortly. But underwrite risk, expand resources. What we've all found, we're all resource hungry. And the resources that Integris Health Partners brings to us and Rural Advantage participants is significant. We know the third leg of the stool: achieve savings. Do this for all payers. Do this for all payers. That was technically the second I just said, but payer contracting has always been a big issue that we felt an urgent need to pursue. And I can tell you, as Rural Advantage, we were automatically shut out of that conversation. And here's why. As Rural Advantage, we are spread broadly, 11 states, but we're very thin in those states relative to what payers are looking for. And Integris brings us the gravitational pull that payers will talk to us. Payers wouldn't even talk to us prior. I sent our list of EINs to several different of the name brand insurers that you know, and I never heard anything back. So, three main strategic objectives, and finally, supporting our growth as a nationally robust organization. We've got big ideas, and we're not stopping right where we are. And we with Integris can pursue that growth where we as Rural Advantage and just North American cannot. So that's the list of reasons that we have pursued this partnership for the duration we have. So we've signed the partnership agreement. Integris Health Partners has agreed to support us, Rural Advantage, through the rest of performance year 2025. And as importantly, support us for QPP reporting, excuse me, not QPP reporting, CQM reporting for program year 2025. And then we will sign Rural Advantage ACO participants. We'll need to sign new participation agreements with Integris Health Partners. So part of this is we do have to sign new participation agreements. Whoops, I just went way too far. So the folks with whom we will be communicating most are the IHP population health team leads with Akil McClay, who's the Vice President of Population Health for Integris, and Chelsea Kelly, who's the Director of Network Performance. Well, I can tell you exactly what day. We got back May 16 from visiting IHP headquarters there in Oklahoma City. So we had lengthy discussion and got to meet the entire team. I went to school with he's not the CEO, Chief Transformation Officer for IHP. So there are some bonds there. And of course, it came to us through our partners at Pinnacle. Now, I can tell you they're of like mind and kindred spirits to us, with us. And I'm excited to introduce both Akil and Chelsea to you all. So Akil, I'm going to hand this off to you and let you introduce yourself. And I keep going too far on the slides. There you go. And just tell me when you're ready for me to move to the next slide, if you want me to.
Okay, will do. So good afternoon, everyone. Really excited about this partnership. I think we're going to do a lot of great things together to not only transform value-based care across the country, but also help to improve the outcomes for your patients as well. I have over 10 years experience specifically in accountable care organizations and clinically integrated networks at very large organizations across the nation. Most recently, well, let me explain what I do here. So I've been with Integris Health now for about 10 months. As their Vice President of Population Health, I oversee our clinically integrated networks, our accountable care organization, our growth strategy, anything that's strategically linked to the operations of our population health service organizations. I have accountability for that. Prior to that, I worked at Bon Secours as their Chief Operating Officer of Population Health. I oversaw Mercy Health Select, which has been a top 10 ACO in the country for the last 4 years in a row. It's projected to be top 10 again for the fifth year. So I have a lot of experience of actually building out networks, making sure that we have great quality, and also constructing a way to make sure we're optimizing our benchmark to be successful. And I did similar work, albeit at a little bit of a different level for Trinity Health. Trinity Health is another large organization that's in 23 states. There, I founded Trinity Health Integrated Care, which is one of the most successful ACOs in the country and has been top 10 as well. And really got my career started in value-based care at SSN Health, which is another large healthcare system where I actually developed all of their clinically integrated networks and accountable care organization across their 4 states from the ground up. So this is something I'm really, really passionate about. And I think this is going to be a great partnership. Next slide, please.
Oh no, they're not showing up.
Okay. No worries. So a little bit about Integris Health Partners. We were founded in 2012. We are a physician-led organization. Our board membership is all physicians, with the exception of we have one nurse practitioner on the board. All of our committees are led by physicians, and we are what you call a clinically integrated network. And what this allows us to do is it gives us the ability to jointly negotiate on the behalf of our providers. So in addition to our MSSP program, our clinically integrated network is that other leg of the stool that lets us do that fee for service and non-MSSP contracting on the value-based side. And we're able to do this, as you can see here, we're focused on quality and cost efficiency, which gives us the legal protection to do that. So there could be an opportunity as we think about our relationship beyond the MSSP program to potentially do some of that contracting at scale for some of the providers in the Real Advantage ACO, so you can get that benefit as well from potentially increased fee-for-service rates and just better value-based contracting overall. So we go to the next slide. This is really our framework and how the Rural Advantage would actually fit within Integris Health Partners. So all the way to the left is our Population Health Department. We also refer to it as our PHSO, our Population Health Services Organization. That is the department that I lead. We are the operations arm to Integris Health Partners on the right. So when you see that arrow going back and forth, we support that group. And as I mentioned, our board is 100% physician led with the exception of one provider. Integris Health Partners holds our contracts. So that includes our Medicare Shared Savings Program, what you will be participating in, plus our other non-MSSP contracts as well. We then will have you sign a participation agreement. So you can see here at the bottom. So for instance, IMG is our employee medical group. They are one of the participants in our ACO and Clinic Integrated Network. So the Rural Advantage ACO providers, you will each sign individual participation agreements to be in IHP's accountable care organization. Now you will only be in our Medicare Shared Savings Program. And like I said, at a future date, we can have a broader discussion around some of our other contracts. But conceptually, that's how this works. And I think it's pretty straightforward. But if anyone has any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Next slide, please. So a little bit about the makeup of our network. We are majority independent physicians. We think that's critically important because we want to make sure we have the voice of the independent physician, as that is part of our overall growth strategy. We are a subsidiary of Integris Health Hospital System, which is the largest healthcare system in the state of Oklahoma. But more importantly, we truly act as a subsidiary, meaning that we have our own governance structure and we are allowed to act 100% independently, even the things that Integris Health System wants to do. So we're always going to do what's in the best interest of our network first before we look at any of Integris's own personal objectives. Now, if you go to the next slide, we are in the enhanced track ACO. This is a track that has the largest upside opportunity up to 75% and the largest downside opportunity between 40 and 75%. The reason why we picked this track is this track has a lot of value, not only from a financial standpoint, but it is also one of the tracks that's deemed as advanced APM. And there are some benefits that come with being part of advanced APM that are some of those have gone away, but some of those still exist, like a slight bump in the Medicare fee-for-service rates as being part of advanced APM. But what to note here is that out of all of the basic track and enhanced track, there's a significant uptick that 25% represents tens of millions of dollars of additional revenue that can be recognized and paid out to our provider partners. And the downside loss piece is Integris Health Partners assumes 100% of the financial risk for its provider partners. So if we have a financial loss, we are going to cover that for you. It will not be on the Rural Advantage's job to cover that or our individual provider partners. So that's just kind of a high level, a little bit about me and Integris Health Partners. our structure, and the track that we're in that we're going to ask that you participate in. So I'll just pause here to see if anyone has any questions for me before we turn it over to Chelsea.
It's a lot to absorb.
Yeah.
I understand, and which is also why we're here, because it's grown in complexity by a magnitude since we started this. Great. Now here's the secret. I threw these slides at Akil and Chelsea at the last minute. They had originally provided the slide deck. This is their material. So they were already familiar with it. But I said, hey, last minute, let's do it this way. And they were generous enough to jump right in and dig into what is clearly their expertise anyway. So with no further ado, here is Chelsea Kelly, Director of Network Performance. Chelsea, I give you the floor. You are muted. Let's see.
If you right
There
click,
we
you can unmute. Yep.
Are we good? Okay.
Yes, we got you.
Teams is our normal platform, so every time Zoom, I just struggle a little bit, but that's okay. I'm on it now. So I am the Director of Network Performance. A little bit about my background. Akil brings all of the experience of other organizations, other very large organizations, but Integris is Oklahoma owned, and so we started out smaller, and then we have grown over the years. I have been with Integris for 17 years. My career started as a bedside clinical nurse, and then I moved into population health work 5 years ago. So I am responsible for the relationships with the payers, getting our data, our performance data, our quality data from the payers, and that includes our MSSP programs. I connect with providers on performance. So I work with our business development team going into provider practices. I work with our provider engagement team. What information are we taking to providers, giving to them? What feedback are we receiving? And how do we make all of this work within our value-based contracts within the organization? And then making sure all of that work is aligned with our system strategies. Next slide, please. This is an example of our 2025 quality metrics. And so within the ACO, we will not have all of these exact metrics. This is just an example slide.
Okay,
As
good.
you can see,
Thanks for clarifying that. I wondered if I should include this or not. So
that's okay. So some of our metrics, you can see that they are commercial or MA, and that would not apply to the ACO because we are only an MSSP contract. And then the quality measures, those would align with the ECQMs that we are submitting. So this is just an example of some of the things that we measure for the disbursement of our shared savings. Next slide, please. This is our provider engagement team. They do an orientation meeting and they do provider reappointment re-engagement program. What they do is when we have a new provider that joins the ACO, they will meet with that provider and they will go on site, but obviously, like with you guys, you're all very spread out. So these will probably be virtual meetings. If a need did arise for us to be on site for some reason, we could work through that in the future. But I'm anticipating most of these meetings will be set up virtually. And then maybe we could mail you a packet in the mail of everything so you can have some paper resources. Some people really like to have a paper in front of them to hold. But it tells about what we have to offer, a welcome letter. There's an orientation meeting just so that you can get familiar with the resources that you have through us. And then we can also get contact information. How do we communicate things back to you? Next slide, please. In this provider engagement program, we do quarterly practice engagements. And this is where our provider engagement team will come out, or in your case, reach out virtually, review attribution, go over patient education materials, go over HCCs, metrics completion, quality performance, So basically, we're gathering all of your data, and then we're streamlining it, making it really easy to read and decipher, and we're bringing it back to you so that you know what you need to focus on to achieve success for the year.
Perfect.
I think that those were all of my slides, kind of short and sweet. Any questions for me?
Hello, this is Denise Foster. I'm a physician assistant. I own Bowling Green Medical Group. And I guess when you're saying providers, do you have a lot of independent clinics that are owned by nurse practitioners and or physician assistants in your group?
I do not know that we do work with PAs and NPs. Akil, do you know, do we have any that are clinics that are owned by PAs or
So we don't have any that I'm aware of that are owned by PAs, but we work with a lot of PAs. There is a large group that we are in discussion with that are PAs that own the clinic, but at this time, we don't have any PA-owned clinics.
Okay, go ahead, Charles.
That's where we come in, though. We're not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. We were changing some of our practice transformation team.
Okay.
For sure. But Rural Advantage, Charles, David, us folks, Daniela's going to be around for a while. We're not going anywhere. And we're very much, this is why this is a partnership, for example, not an acquisition.
Okay. Okay. So we still have the support. I guess then the second thing is we do a lot of Medicare annual wellness. We have all the measures, performance measures. Do those change for 2025 and the way we've been doing things, Charles? Or, do we have to steer in another direction now that we are a partnership? Like, what do I have to change at clinic level in what I'm doing?
Great. Perfect. Excellent question. Right now, nothing.
Okay.
So right now, for the balance of 2025,
okay,
some of the people might change. So, for example, Leanne and Krista will change to some of Integris team.
Okay.
But we're still participating as Rural Advantage through the rest of 2025.
Okay.
We're still following all of our same quality measures, and we'll still be on Lightbeam for the rest of the year. And as a matter of fact, I'm about to execute an agreement with Lightbeam to do our CQM for 2025, which is, when the whole team got into everyone's medical records and dug for what we call QPP.
Yep.
Now we're calling that CQM, and how we submit it is different, but it's the same function. So those same measures we'll follow for the rest of the year. We'll report on those at the end of the year. And then, yes, for 2026, just like we renewed and upgraded measures, and that's especially why Kelly said that's a sample. We don't have what 2026 will be yet. But yes, for 2026, the measures will change. But as you can see in a variety of, especially back here, this is pretty common industry wide. So these aren't too far off of what we've already been doing, right?
Right. I think we were adding something about colonoscopy for some of the measures for 2026, right?
Right. Yeah. Could be you're further read than I am on it. So that for the moment, nothing from that perspective.
Nothing for that I need to change or implement. Okay. That's good news. Thank you.
Correct. And for 2025, though, yes, our resources, or excuse me, I'm so sorry, 2026, our resources will start to be different. For example, that's when we'll onboard part of what I'm going to talk about in a moment, as far as we'll change from Lightbeam to Integris Population Health Platform.
Okay.
And that's why it's important to do this now, so we can play out the rest of this year and integrate with one another, and not just, you can't just do a cold start on January 2 and something like this.
No.
So status quo through 25.
Okay, good.
Integris
Thank you.
is supporting us through 2025 with resources like Pinnacle and the CQM reporting. Because honestly, part of why we're doing this is, I'll just be blunt, North American, we're tapped out,
Understood. Yep.
and we always plan on getting a partner with more resources, and we're at the place that we really need to do that.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
So that's the unspoken kind of component of this. And so that they will support us through the end of this year in many ways. Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that question.
Okay.
Sue, that's the
I
most.
do want the CQNs don't change from CMS from one ACO to another. So we will report out on the same measures that you guys are reporting out on for 2025. And then you are correct, for 2026, they will be adding the colorectal cancer screening to the quality measures.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
There you go. So we will change for 26. Our medical director is Dr. Sparks down here.
Okay.
Dr. Hopkins.
Hey, Charles.
Yes.
Sorry. This is Erin Gonzalez with Studio Medical Clinic. How are y'all?
We're good. How are you?
Good. Okay, we do have a question. So,
Please.
Studio Medical Clinic, we were previously involved with a different ACO, and they were kind of in the middle of that transition on the risk stratification that was a couple of slides back that you were talking about. And it sounds like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, when we partner with the IHP, it does show that they assume all the financial risk for the participants in the ACO to go onto that enhanced track. But it's going to be a full risk starting in 2026 as far as ACO go, or are we still in transition to becoming full risk because we're still only at year 2?
What will happen is we will terminate Rural Advantage contract with CMS, and we will be put under Integris contract with CMS, and it will be the full enhanced track model.
So they're already
full risk. They will because IHP is already at full risk. We would just be jumping right in with them into the deep at full risk.
But here's the thing: they've already achieved savings.
Right, and I understand that completely.
Yeah.
But
so
obviously.
But you're right. Yes, you're correct. It would be. But then at that point, so here's how we've structured this.
Okay.
For our participants, it's still kind of upside only.
Okay. Well, the reason we ask is because in our previous ACO, in the transition on their way to full risk, we had to buy some form of like a quote unquote insurance policy, if you will, to protect ourselves. And just to be very frank, we would have achieved shared savings this year. We didn't achieve, obviously, because of other problems, but our biggest concern is that it's like we keep putting all of this work in every single day with a quality team. We don't want to lose money because of
correct.
We don't want to end up having to pay, because that's the biggest concern of our side. Okay.
No, that's why we say they assume the financial risk, which translate that shared loss rate. If something happens and there's no savings, we're not writing a check.
Okay, cool. That gives us some very significant peace of mind, because we were sitting over here going, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, cool. Thank you. Sorry.
No, you're not. That's what assumes financial risk means. They write the check, and we don't get savings. So we don't get money. And one would expect, okay, who's the outlier? Who caused this? So there would be consequences. If people contributed to the losses, for sure, of probably being asked to leave the ACO, but there would be remediation, and so part of the reason that we went with an Integris, because they already have a track record on the enhanced track, and they're not having to transition. And no, we would not enter into something where any of our participants would have to write a check under these circumstances. No check, and there's no insurance policy. No. Does that tell you what you need to know? Is that?
Yes, that is super helpful. Again, we're very cautious, because it's like, gosh darn, this is, it's a little overwhelming.
It is overwhelming, But here's the deal. 40% shared say, I don't know how to get my highlighter off of here. I guess I could if I just try to go back to my pointer. There we go. So 40% shared savings rate. Here's the deal. If we achieve savings as a rural advantage, the way that track A is structured, it will not be enough to be sustainable. Track A is set up 40% shared savings rate. And with track A and our rural population, it's difficult to achieve savings as we're experiencing. And when you do achieve savings, the return is not great.
Right, exactly. You got to gamble big to win big. It's
Well,
kind of the name of the game.
Well, a little bit. But at the same time, then we go to 75%. And here's the big key, and this is buried way down in the weeds. On track A, you got to save $3 to get one. It's called a minimum savings rate. I think I have that right. On enhanced track, your first dollar is savings, and you get 75% of it. 75 cents of the dollar. Enhanced track, when you finally get the dollar, you get 40 cents on it.
Okay. No, that is very helpful. I mean, the breakdown of this is just difficult, but that I would say Lisa and I both were sitting here going, wait, we need to know more. So, okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's the key right there. And that's just the biggest issue. Both what Denise asked and what you asked are the biggest issues really involved in what we're talking about. You're exactly right. Now, the other issue, and I'm just going to kind of breeze through these. Let's let these up here. These are the resources that Integris brings to us, aside from the expertise that Chelsea and Akil already, alone bring to the table. They're just part of this team. We met with, I don't know how many people were in our meeting, a lot of people. We have behavioral health service organization, PHSO, behavioral health consultants. I'm going to, like I said, breeze through these. These are all services towards helping us close gaps, right? They have care management. We don't have to replace the care management we have. They have care management. Post-acute care management. Different people are responsible for these areas. SNF engagement and selection. Our biggest factor in whether or not we achieve savings are these SNF patients often. So we have a whole infrastructure behind helping us make those decisions and measure it. So the other part of it. So when you think about the things that we've been doing through Pinnacle, we've been piecemealing a lot of these services together, and IHP's the whole package. Have analytics tools and their own platform, and I just included some information about it. Of course, I will share these slides with everyone. We'll go to, is that, Akil, do I have the right? It's Health Catalyst is the platform?
Yeah, so we currently have a partnership with Health Catalyst. We will be transitioning to Innovasor. So Health Catalyst is, okay. We have some, I would say, kind of ownership in Health Catalyst, so that those resources will still be around if we need them, but we're going to be transitioned to Innovasor.
So some of these slides could be different, and I put these in just really as an example of, again, the resources coming from IHP that will now be consolidated through them. Now, one thing, I'm going to jump way back up here real quick because I want to point out that IHP's network sure looks a lot like our mix of, I think we have 18 EMRs, including some paper. Our mix between independent and employed is pretty close. So I highlight this when we talk about one way we mirror. So Integris is going to help us, you know, get everything pointed in one direction, one platform. So here's how we're going to work. It's a 5-year contract. One of the you know, one of the risks that really Rural Advantage bore was that our contracts are 1-year contracts. People could get out anytime they wanted. You all can get out anytime you want. This contract we're going to sign with Integris Health will be, well, for you all, a 3-year contract. It will end 12/31/2028. Rural Advantage current contract with CMS is a 5-year contract. IHP's contract with CMS is a 5-year contract, and their participation agreements and Rural Advantage agreement will mirror their CMS contract. Now, the CMS contract will renew for 5 years. Our participation agreements, I think we'll look at those, but I'm pretty sure they renew 1-year terms after 2028. So this is a 3-year agreement you're signing up to. And again, there's no requirement for you to sign. But we are terminating Rural Advantage. So there is no possibility to stay with Rural Advantage on track A. So it is a 3-year contract, not a 1-year contract. And I want to emphasize that. IHP underwrites the losses. Here to your question, no, you're not going to write a check. You're not going to pay the downside losses. You don't have to get insurance. Now, you all have heard horror stories from other ACOs, particularly that have been on the ACO REACH model, that they've had impacts on RHC claims and cost reports. ACO REACH, those were innovation models. This is not an innovation model. Part of the reason Akil had to tell me at least 4 times that they have rural health clinics. He has experience in this model with rural health clinics. There's no impact on claims or cost reports. And Integris has proven record of success. So our partnership agreement has us acting as a sub ACO within Integris. So kind of our structure will in a lot of ways stay together. That's why Denise will still be here. And our point is to navigate some of the rural health clinic complexities and with some of the expertise that we bring to the table. And so then within our little sub ACO, we're still 25/75. And that's really, we'll still have some management and administrative expenses within what had been Rural Advantage. So kind of within our sub ACO, we'll split IHP 50/50, and we still have the same split internally. 75/25.
Charles, I don't know if you saw that chat from Chelsea, but we have 16 RHCs in our ACO currently.
Perfect. Thank you. We crunched the numbers on 2026 if we made certain assumptions. Now, one of the things that I don't think I have not made this announcement publicly, that, for example, Uinta has chosen to, now they chose to leave. Sorry for the siren back there. It's going to go right in front of me here. They have chosen to leave for program year 2026. Excuse me. So we built this model without Uinta and some other participants that are weighing us down. And so this is a projection of what we would look like without Uinta. And a handful of other participants. So Denise, bottom line down here, let's say we projected between our two groups that we would, this is a projection. This is
Yes.
not a guarantee of anything. But they have excellent analytics folks, and they have crunched their numbers. They would not agree to take on our risk if they haven't looked at it closely. And we're projected with the description I just described to pull in $1.4 million to Rural Advantage. And then we would have the 25-75 split.
Okay, we do have one more question, Charles.
Yeah.
And again, because we've been in an
Please.
ACO before and changed ACOs and whatever.
Good.
So because Rural Advantage will be, quote, ending their contract with CMS and we'll be joining and creating a new, does that mean that that means that if at the end of 2025 we just kick butt and take names, there will be no shared savings period end of story at 2025, no matter what, because we're closing our ACO?
No. Because of what? What was the last part?
Because this ACO is not going to be Rural Health Advantage anymore. It's going to be a new contract under CMS.
No. So we'll continue. Well, even though we'll terminate, we'll continue out. And we can't say what the savings might be for 25.
Right. But
yeah.
projected. So, but we still have the option to achieve shared savings if it's possible. Okay.
Absolutely.
We ask because,
yes.
In the other ACO, we left the ACO, and because we left before April when the payout came through, we were not eligible to acquire our shared savings because we left before the money had come back to them from CMS. And so we were curious if, since the contracting with CMS is changing.
Sorry, pardon me.
No, that's okay. We were just curious because the contracting is changing through y'all, the company, if that would impact the shared savings ability from CMS rolling into 2026 when you actually get the money from 2025.
Well,
if
look,
it wasn't.
Sometimes I say too much. It's a particular talent that I have. I'm just kidding.
Same. It's okay. You're fine.
No, but seriously, I think the reason you did not get that payout is because that ACO chose not to pay you out.
Right. Yeah.
There's no CMS rule that said, oh, you were out by X, you don't get money. That was the ACO decision. If you achieve savings and they achieve savings, they got the money and chose not to pay it to you.
Yes, exactly. We kind of knew that from a contractual standpoint,
good.
but we were just making sure that there wasn't anything that happens contractually with you guys as an ACO with CMS that would affect us.
So there's not.
Trigger shy, sorry.
No, exactly. And so now look, whether or not we achieve savings for 24 and 25 is an open question. We did an analysis on 24 and 25 and it looks, their analysis doesn't look great. And if we achieve savings, it will be not a large amount. And that's part of why we're doing this. That is the whole reason we're doing this. Because if we achieve savings, big if, it will not be a sustainable amount. And this gets us to a sustainable amount that we're returning real dollars to our participants. And the reason I brought said that about the ACO is because we will pay you out. We achieve savings 100% 24 25. There's no legal way for Integris to be paid out for 24 and 25 and keep that money. This doesn't work that way. Their entry may be operational for 25, but it is only for shared savings beginning 26. So there's absolutely still the opportunity to earn savings for 24 and 25. And this agreement does not impact our current participation agreement with you through the end of 25. And you have my word that we will pay everybody out, period.
I do appreciate that. Thank you. Again, I'm sorry for being the nervous Nelly.
No.
We just, you know.
I am our chief cynic and paranoiac. Is that a word? Paranoiac. So you got to ask those questions. So I appreciate that, and I need to be able to explain it clearly, and I hope I have.
Along those lines, it says, you also said IHP distribution methodology. What is that methodology? Is that different than what we have already in place with you?
I did not.
Speak to
Slide
that.
38.
Yeah, I can speak to that.
Please do.
So that's going back to like the quality measures, which seem to be very similar to the ones you already have. As a distribution methodology. So legally, because you're signing participation agreements with IHP, we have to distribute the funds to you directly. Yeah, and like Chelsea said, a lot of these don't apply to you. So commercial, MA, all those are going to be removed. Use of preferred network is also going to be removed as well. It's only going to be MSSP specific quality measures.
So it'll be the same quality measures we're already trying to meet that we would be possibly having shared savings on and distributed, correct?
In the sense that we're all following CMS.
Yes.
So just maybe this will make you feel better, Denise. So for 2025, the ECQMs that we are reporting out are depression screening and follow-up, blood pressure control, diabetes, and then breast cancer screening.
Right.
And then
yes.
for 26, we will be adding the colorectal cancer screening.
Right. Okay.
Same thing as us. And then, but their weights are different. So remember, we have some pretty simplistic weighting in that scorecard that we have done. And all of your scorecards will match the rest of their providers.
Okay.
So, for example, we can't have a different annual wellness visit threshold or weight in the score for our rural advantage folks. We're going to follow their metrics and their scorecard.
Okay.
So those are the CMS ECQM quality metrics. But in addition to that, you can see on the quality metrics scorecard that there are some additional metrics under Medicare, like a utilization metrics, which includes the 30-day all-cause readmissions. And it's down a couple, Charles. The utilization.
I gotcha. Yeah, I see. Yeah. We got those two commercials in there. I gotcha. Yep.
So none of the commercial quality metrics on here, but there will be some metrics that are specific to MSSP.
This is editing on the fly here, folks. So it'll look a little more like that.
And the metrics that we're going to have our providers focused on are ones that have been proven to demonstrate success in terms of earned shared savings. So there won't be any measures in there that are measures that won't be impactful to patient care.
And this is, I should put in here somewhere. Well, this is what you all have been doing for 25, and then this doesn't quite add up to 100%, but you get the point.
Okay.
Good, great questions. Thank you, thank you. So we've been there. Sub ACO, projections. Start distributing participation agreements. IHP team will start to supplement, replace a couple of our staff folks or team members. Krista will still be playing a role, but Leanne will be leaving us. And we appreciate her work with us in support of all of our participants and everything that she's done. And what we'll do is so we have some meetings particularly with Leanne, and those meetings will go ahead and play out these next meetings. We'll start to replace the conversation with our IHP folks. Daniela and her wonderful assistance and support will continue to be with us through the generous support of IHP, and all of these things will provide us some continuity. And like I said, the rest of us, we're not going anywhere.
Charles, Sudan Medical Clinic is going to sign off. We've got a few patients already
Okay.
ready to go, but
Thank you.
thank you so very much for all of this information. We are so very appreciative.
It was my pleasure, our pleasure. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Keel, any closing comments?
Just excited about this partnership. I think it's going to be mutually beneficial to everyone. I think there's, experience we can learn from each other. So really excited about it.
Yes, sir. Likewise. Chelsea, any parting comments?
No, I'm just very excited about this future opportunity, and just want to let everybody know that you can reach out to myself or Akil. Charles can get you connected to us, and we're happy to meet with anybody individually if you have additional questions. Obviously, we would invite Charles to come along too, but we love having him in our meetings. And we're available for questions, concerns, comments. If you hang up the phone and immediately think of something, reach out. If it's 8 o'clock at night, shoot over an email. Akil responds much faster than I do via email, but both of us are readily available, and just want to let you know that.
We appreciate it, and we'll try to be gentle, not flood the zone. But we've got a great team. Everybody's pretty engaged, and if we weren't excited about it, we wouldn't be doing it. So thank you, everyone. Please feel free to reach out to me individually with any concerns or comments, and we'll look forward to hearing from you. We will be reaching out with new participation agreements. All right. Signing off from St. Louis. Go Cards. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.